When Frank Lampard was sacked by Chelsea in January, it was a decision which left many Blue supporters perplexed and frustrated. Lampard's successor, Thomas Tuchel, arrived at Stamford Bridge with a proven track record, and it's safe to say he hasn't disappointed to date, possibly surprising a few along the way. Hey guys, we talk football here, and today we look at how Thomas Tuchel has turned Chelsea around. Chelsea wanted Frank Lampard to overhaul the culture at the club, but it's his successor who is succeeding in changing things at Stamford Bridge. Thomas Tuchel has been in West London for just 2 months, but the Chelsea squad has gone from 9th in the Premier League to 4th. They made Diego Simeone's Atletico look thoroughly ordinary in both Champions League legs, and few teams will relish the prospect of facing Chelsea, having sealed a place in the Champions League quarterfinals. The draw was done just a couple days ago actually, and Chelsea have drew Porto in the Champions League quarterfinals. I'm sure Chelsea fans will be excited with that draw. Only runaway Premier League leaders, Manchester City, have earned more points than Chelsea since Tuchel's appointment in late January. Tuchel took over a side struggling for consistency under Frank Lampard and immediately turned them into a supremely disciplined unit that has conceded just 2 goals and remains unbeaten in its 13 games in charge, which by the way is the longest ever unbeaten start by a Chelsea manager. Remarkably, Chelsea have registered 11 clean sheets in 13 matches without defeat since Tuchel took over from Lampard. Chelsea's shape has also notably improved. There has been a better defensive structure with Tuchel opting for a 3-back in most games. But more than that, a number of players who didn't really perform under Lampard have begun to impress, most notably Timo Werner and Kai Havertz. The pair arrived in the summer for a combined 160 million, and a desire to get the best out of them was at least in part behind the decision to appoint Tuchel, a German coach who could communicate with them in German. Havertz is still only 21 and suffered COVID-19 soon after arriving, which perhaps explains the slow start. Werner's struggle for form was perhaps less excusable. He is 25 and more experienced, but the sense was that Lampard had no real idea of how to use him. His confidence collapsed, and that was a clear flaw of Lampard's management. Numerous players, having gotten on a sticky run, found their form deteriorating, with Lampard seemingly unable to pick them up again. Werner is still not scoring goals at the rate he did in Germany, but his deployment in a false nine-ish role here allowed him to make those runs through an inside left position that characterized his play for RB Leipzig. Tuchel took over a squad low in confidence and has turned them into a side full of belief and energy, which has seen them climb up the Premier League table and kicking them on in Europe. I think it's fair to say nobody expected the German tactician to have such an instant impact. His influence has been obvious since his first game in charge against Wolves. Players that had been previously condemned or written off as not good enough to play for Chelsea are now thriving. Rudiger, Andreas Christensen, Marcos Alonso, Callum Hudson-Odoi are examples of those who have been favoured by the change in coach. The one downside to Tuchel's Chelsea is how frustrating they can sometimes be in attack. They've shown the inability to break down their opponents multiple times so far, and it seems as though the forward players need a little more time to adapt, unlike their defensive teammates who caught on immediately. They've never scored 3 times in a match under Tuchel, but that doesn't take away from anything the German coach has done thus far. But let us know what you guys think. Chelsea fans, is Thomas Tuchel the right man to lead the club for the foreseeable future? Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you guys on the next one.